Ladies and gentlemen, you see that right over there? That's a pile that I dug through my entire vinyl collection and picked out some of my favorites. That's a pile of them right there. Uh, Now you can see me. What's happening, my creatures of the night? Um, Today I wanted to, in this video, I wanted to simply, take a break from ranting and, you know, album reviews and all that. And wanted to have a little bit of fun in a video. And today I'm gonna break down my favorite vinyl records out of my entire collection. My top, I don't even know how many there are here, but my favorite vinyl albums that I own in my entire collection. I have a huge collection. I dug through and picked out my favorite ones. And I'm going to try and get through each album relatively quickly. I don't really need to do deep album reviews on each of these albums. If you want me to do a full-out review on each of these albums, or on one of these albums, comment whichever one you like below. So, take the plastic off of this one so the camera can pick it up. Alright, let's start with the top here. This one is a little more obvious. A lot of people tend to have this on vinyl. I actually have an original copy, though. This is not a remastered copy at all. This is from 1973. And it is, you guessed it, Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. Great album to hear on vinyl. Especially the original one. Has that old school Pink Floyd sound to it, obviously. Highly recommend, if you buy a record player, that you own this album. If you cannot find a used copy, which I highly recommend you get an original copy of the record. You can always go for the 180 gram remastered record, but you won't get the same vibe as you do when you hear the original. I'm just gonna move this a little closer. Sorry about the noise. Again, I'm in my basement. Alright, and we're going to move on to number 2 here, I guess. And this one is... it's backwards. I know my camera's backwards. This one is Clockwork Orange, the soundtrack to Clockwork Orange, directed by Stanley Kubrick. Never say his name. Wicked soundtrack, wicked movie, fantastic. If you haven't watched it, you gotta watch it. It's a great movie, one of my favorites. Alright, let's go and take the plastic off. Actually, can you guys, yeah, you guys can, no, the light's gonna. Alright, this one, it's a compilation, but it's got some of my favorite tracks by this guy on here. The Best of Vangelis, or Vangelis. He's a new age artist, similar to Yanni, a little more electronic than Yanni, but definitely good stuff if you want to have that out-of-body experience or spiritual experience or whatever. Do check out Vangelis. He's from the 80s, so he's got that new agey synth vibe, I guess you can call it. Yeah, great record. Vangelis, extremely talented on the synthesizers. Speaking of Vangelis, you guys know this, it's Chariots of Fire. If you don't know, Vangelis did the soundtrack for this. Another great album. Yeah. What do we got here? Oh man, this is a deep record. I'm so glad I have this record. If you ever wanted to just really break down and listen to some emotional, political, anti-war, just, I don't know what to say about it. It's got all three of those elements in it. This is Songs for the Big Chair by Tears for Fears. Oh, sorry about the light, guys. Songs for the Big Chair by Tears for Fears. It's definitely an album you've got to hear at least once in your lifetime. Extremely emotional and great. It's glad I owned that one. Ah, yes, this one here. Sorry if I'm rushing through them. I'm trying to get through these as quick as I can, just so I don't want to sit here and babble about each record. But I will babble a little bit. Let me say that I'm into real country music, I guess you can say. Like, not real country, but good country music, in my opinion. It's the classic stuff. Johnny Cash. And of course, you can't mention country without this guy here. Willie Nelson, always on my mind. I think he did this version of the song the absolute best. Not too crazy about Elvis's version. Pet Shop Boys' version, atrocious. But yeah, Willie Nelson, wicked old school country guy. If you like Willie Nelson, you like Johnny Cash for sure. Just go ahead and put the plastic on after. Let's get through. Ooh. This is another album you gotta hear at least once in your lifetime. It actually tells kind of a story. This is The Wall by Pink Floyd. I got the entire two disc set here. It's got the pictures in it and everything. Once again, wicked record. Personally, I'm more of a fan of Dark Side of the Moon. I even like Saucerful of Secrets. Unfortunately, I don't have that one on vinyl. But The Wall is still pretty good. It's got the well-known Pink Floyd hits on it. Comfortably Numb, Another Brick on the Wall. But in general, the album is quite good. Especially on vinyl. I'm a vinyl fan. Okay. Now we're going back, man. Now we're going way back. Let me just say that your average teenage girl wearing a Nirvana shirt will not know this album. This is Bleach by Nirvana. This album came out before Nevermind. I like it far more than I like Nevermind. It's got more of a punk feel to it, which is pretty good. Old school Nirvana. People who are actual Nirvana fans will know this album. So, not knocking everybody. But Bleach is a good album. It's got some good stuff. This one's for my buddy Justin. He actually knows these guys. He's related to these guys. He's from Barbados, and he actually, if it weren't for him, I wouldn't know who these guys were. This is the Merrymen and Beautiful Barbados. I'm not heavily into soca or calypso, but when I'm in the right mood, I don't mind it sometimes. Merrymen, I respect them, definitely. They're like the Beach Boys of Barbados. They're pretty good. I just wanted to put that in here for my buddy Justin. Hope you're watching. I'm sure he has more of those records. Let's keep going here. This is a classic. This is not very well known, actually. This is Dreams of Tomorrow by Lonnie Liston Smith. I'm into old school jazz. I don't mind some old school jazz. This is really old jazz though. It's got jazz in it for sure, but it's hard to say exactly what it is. If you're gonna check out a song on here, check out A Garden of Peace and Mystic Woman. Really cool tracks. Alright, moving forward. Oh, of course. This is an original copy of this record, by the way. Again, this is one of those albums that you gotta own if you buy a record player and start a record collection. Whether you get it used or remastered or 180 gram or whatever, you gotta hear this album. Rumors by Fleetwood Mac. This is a classic. Got some good songs on here. Really relaxing, Fleetwood Mac, definitely a ton of respect for them. Yes. Classic guitarist right here. The Best of Eric Clapton. This was actually in my mom's collection. She passed it down to me. This Eric Clapton is a great guitarist. One of my favorites, for sure. Not my absolute favorite, but it's pretty good. So definitely enjoy that album if you're a classic rock fan, for sure. Oh boy, now we're getting dark. Here we go. This is Violator by Depeche Mode. Yeah, I have the actual record to this. Hard to find, like super hard to find, but I actually managed to get my hands on it. Violator is here. I'll show you the inside here. It's got some art in there, some lyrics. Oh, why not slipping out? Classic. Depeche. I'm a pretty big Depeche Mode fan. They're started out in the '80s, but really had a better sound in the late '80s, early '90s. I guess they're more of they're '80s goth. I guess you can say goth rock. Started out a bit new wavy, synth poppy, but got more into the dark side of things, and yeah, explored a little bit more of the goth rock stuff, and definitely one of the best goth rock bands from the '80s. Speaking of Depeche Mode, this is one of my favorite albums of all time, actually. That's not metal. This is Songs of Faith and Devotion. Oh, sorry guys. This is Songs of Faith and Devotion by Depeche Mode. This definitely explored more of the goth rock sound, and this album is just fantastic. Again, first heard it when I was like maybe 11 and fell in love with it. So, well, I grew up around Depeche Mode, so I'm going to be a fan of them. Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite bands. Well, favorite classic rock bands. This is Burn by Deep Purple. Definitely more of a heavier feel than other Deep Purple albums. Very enjoyable record. Do check it out whenever you get the chance. It's a good album. Ah, yes. This is a band that everybody knows, but I only like this one album by the band. This is Magical Mystery Tour by the Beatles, and this is not the remastered edition either. This is an original copy as well. I shop at used record stores, so I find this kind of stuff. This is the only album I really like by the Beatles, because it definitely has areas where things are a lot heavier, but it has more of that psychedelic side to it. If you're really looking to go on a psychedelic trip, I don't do drugs, but if you're really looking to go on that psychedelic journey, this is definitely the album for you. Sleeve it up. Ah, come on. Damn sleeve. Okay. Yeah. Not really into the Beatles. As just that one album, maybe. Helter Skelter was okay, but in general, not a big Beatles fan. Aside from that album, too poppy. All right, I was talking about Vangelis earlier. This is a new age, one of the top new age musicians of all time. New age meaning meditation and spirituality, and that kind of stuff. I'm really big on that stuff. In fact, got my ohm on. Yeah, so this is Keys to Imagination by Yanni. If you're really looking to have a vinyl meditation experience, I don't know. But if you're really looking to relax a bit and get on that new age spiritual side of things, do check out some Yanni. Oh, of course. How could I not mention this one? This is a compilation from 1978. For some reason, it was in my dad's record collection. I don't remember my dad ever being into Jimi Hendrix, but here's Smash Hits by Jimi Hendrix. I'll even show you the record. It's in bad shape. It's warped up and everything. I don't know what my dad did with this record, but it's got your general well-known Jimi Hendrix hits: Purple Haze, Fire, Wind Cries Mary, All Along the Watchtower. Obviously, anybody who's a Jimi Hendrix fan is gonna love Hendrix on vinyl. Let's take a look. Oh, one of my favorite classic rock albums of all time. Here's In Rock by Deep Purple. A lot of people say Machine Head is their favorite album. I really like this album. This album really was an early influence on heavy metal, for sure. Not the earliest influence, but definitely one of the many. Old school heavy metal, classic rock fusion sort of feel. It's a great album. I'm a big Deep Purple fan, so yeah. Speaking of heavy metal, Ladies and gentlemen, I have the very first heavy metal album on original vinyl. This is Black Sabbath's very first album. It is self-titled. It's Black Sabbath. And this is the first, I guess you can say, first actual heavy metal album that was classified as heavy metal. This album started it all. If you're a metalhead, you gotta hear this album if you want to know the foundation of heavy metal. But yeah, this album's good. I personally like it more than Paranoid, to be honest. It's got some really good guitar in it, especially on the song "The Wizard." The drum fills in between the guitar licks are pretty good. Yeah, do check it out. The album cover's kind of creepy though. If you look, nobody has been able to identify who that woman is, but yeah, classic album, classic. And let's see. Oh, we got one more here. Obviously, I guess you can call these guys the gods of heavy metal. That's just my own opinion. But here's Motorhead's Iron Fist. Came out in '82, I believe. You guys can't even see that. Iron Fist is a wicked album. Everybody talks about Ace of Spades, but personally, I'm more of a fan of Iron Fist. It had more of a speedier. No, that's a horrible word. It's got more of a faster, sludgier kind of feel. You know, the licks are fantastic on Lemmy's bass in this album. The drumming is obviously good. Definitely extremely underrated Motorhead album. Great album on vinyl, for sure. Old school Motorhead vinyl. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you just saw my favorite vinyl out of my entire collection. So, thank you guys for watching. If you guys want me to review any of those albums I pulled out there, specifically, do comment below or send me a message. I'm open to doing anything that I'm open to discussing any sort of topic you guys want me to. You guys just gotta comment and ask me to do stuff. You know, I obviously I'm gonna do stuff on my own, but like, you know, the forum's open. So thank you guys for watching that. This was quite fun. I should do this more often. Maybe next I'll do my CDs. Anyways, rock on.